When it comes to time, you don't really realize that it's fleeting till it's gone. You don't have on your forehead how much time you got left in the world. There's not a ticker tape for that. Goals change, plans change, life changes. I thought I'd be a millionaire by 30, not anywhere close. I had 4 kids instead, so I'm a millionaire in a different sense. Money is a resource, time is a resource. How do we use those to where we can look at the end of our lives, we may not be millionaires even then, and say that was a great life?
Yeah. Hey, Sean, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And you and I have been able to get to know each other here over the last couple of months as we've been working on your new podcast, the new iteration of your podcast. But something I want to start with today is that you at Performance Financial and the whole crew, you, your dad, and everybody there, talk a lot about, investing your time wisely. That's actually the name of the podcast. That's what you guys kind of believe in. And I'd love to hear a little bit of that story, why that is something that's so passionate that you guys believe in. If it's not just investing your finances, that's part of it, but investing your time and what that looks like. Can you paint that picture for me and kind of break that down?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to start off with, that's not always been the mantra. I think when I first got into the business, my dad's been doing this since 2004. In my podcast, I tell the story about, the clock and the logo and all these sorts of things. Like I learned it when I was 8 years old in 2004.
Wow. It's wild.
It's not something I realized until I was 29. So I think that when it comes to time, you don't really realize that it's fleeting till it's gone.
For sure.
So similar to you, 4 kids,
yes,
busy professional, love my wife, try to be as involved. I coached high school sports for a long time. And what I realized that I was lacking in my own life was that time piece. So last year when I was kind of soul searching, I've been looking at, jumping back into the podcast world for a while. Yeah. I was thinking about a dad podcast. I had one that I was thinking about doing. It was called the Average Christian Podcast. And I just want to be a 7 out of 10 Christian. Yeah. That's what I really wanted to be. You got your 10 out of 10s, the guys that sit front row. I just don't think I'm there yet, but hopefully someday. Yeah. Definitely don't want to be a 0, but if I could be awesome. 70%, I would, faithfully follow Christ, and that's the number one goal, and still have a couple beers on Saturday night.
Yeah, there you go.
But I was playing with all these different ideas. I was really soul searching, and I couldn't find the time to put into really finding what made the most amount of sense. So as we went through this big brand change last year, and I finally asked my dad the question about the clock and the logo. Before that, our mantra was helping families find financial freedom, right? Yeah. That's easy to say 5 times fast, right? Yeah. And we got put in this position where I asked him, and he goes, well, time's the only asset you can't buy more of. In that very moment, as a dad of 4 kids, as somebody who just had to step away from coaching wrestling, as somebody who just didn't feel like I could be enough at work or at home, light bulb. So between me, ChatGPT, and my buddy TR, we just what stuck, and investing time wisely just fit so well. Yeah. It's on the shirt. It's the mantra we can all get behind. So in our office, we do tax accounting, we do bookkeeping, we do insurance, we do all these things that busy people don't want to do. And our number one problem solver in our office is we take that pressure off of you. Take one thing off your, financial plate or your world plate. Yeah. And now we've turned it into this bigger thing of how do you invest your time wisely, not only with your finances, but with your family, with your church, right? In all your community, these different pieces. But the long story short is while I paint this picture, it's not, Bob Ross over an hour. It took, it's a Sistine Chapel. It took 30 years of life for me to find that I truly didn't have time, even though, large scale, if I live to be 100 years old, I'm very early in the game. Yeah. I think by learning this and hopefully preaching this to people and clients, that they learn that, one, they're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing about being whether you're a busy entrepreneur or a busy mom or a busy dad, is it's a lonely feeling. Yeah. But there's so many other people that can take some of these lessons and kind of invest their time where they think it's best spent, get the best ROI. And it's not always, financial.
Yeah. Well, and I love that because I think often when you're in the finance world, you can easily go, well, we gotta figure out how to make you more money. You got to figure out how to save you more money, and all of that becomes the goal. And not that that's bad. Obviously, that's what you guys do, but there's this underlining thing that is deeper, that is more rich. That's like going, hey, your time is where it's at. And if we can help you get to the financial side of things that you need to, it'll actually give you more time with your family, your friends, your community, and you can actually do more. And that's why I wanted to talk with you about this whole thing, because obviously around here, we believe that you are an artist, even though you're in the financial field, right? And that you have this ability to, when you help people in the way that you are with investing their time, it literally can change the world by just finance.
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful thing. And so you alluded to it, but take me back to kind of unpacking that a little bit. You said, I've heard you tell the story, but I'd love for you to tell it again here, of asking your dad about, like, why is there a clock in our logo? That's like just a random thing to have in a financial logo. Take me back to that moment where you started to kind of unpack this, invest your time wisely thing.
Yeah, so I think it was either last year or the year before. I was going through the rebrand anyways. So in 2004, when he started his first business, he put a clock as the O in performance. And he's kind of used it consistently. We changed it in 2005 or 2020 when we rebranded, made it like more whatever, like a widget clock. And again, as somebody who's trying to think, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, I want to create a lasting brand that makes a lot of sense to other people. And one of the things nobody's ever asked is, why is there a clock in the logo? Why does this matter? Like, even myself. So I finally go, hey, what's the clock all about? And he goes, well, time's the only asset you can't buy more of. And in that moment, I go, why have we not told anyone?
Just dropping that truth bomb on you, just here you go.
We've never really used it like in conversation points. Like, we could build our entire business based off. That's a differentiator from, a Charles Schwab or like anybody.
100%. Yeah.
Ed Jones, all these guys. And we have this piece, this family business, this story that you heard the other day from Dad that, I called that podcast the 20-year overnight success. By the time we were over, I was like, man, it's a 40-year journey that I was learning things.
Yeah.
So to be able to kind of slow down and say, all right, I'm busy, other people are busy. The bigger the client I work with, the more I realize how constrained they are on time.
Yeah.
It really fit into where we wanted to lead people, right? We want to lead people. That's all our job. Our job is to be a guide on your financial journey.
Yeah.
And if we can take that time constraint of time and look at it in a different piece and use that as our, foundation conversation with clients,
for sure,
even internally with our teammates, now you've created such brand value and life lessons. So that conversation has now stemmed into a small book that is still in editing, the podcast that's coming out, the whole brand update, and then truly something that I feel passionate about pouring myself into for the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, it started and where it's leading us. And I'm excited about, the future along the way.
Yeah, man, I love that. Just seeing it beyond just now, and saying, hey, there's life in 20 years, there's life in 40 years that we can be investing in now that can change not only your life's trajectory, but your kids and then your clients and all of that. Like, dude, that's super, super cool. So obviously this has been something that you kind of embed into the work that you do with your clients. Is there a story that stands out? Is there a client that you walked some of this through with that kind of you like, hey, let's figure this out for you so that you can invest over here? That's been maybe a cool like success story, if you will, or something like that?
Yeah, I would say, the interesting thing about like really turning this on in 2026 is I'm in pursuit of that goal right now, right? So like I can look back at the last 10 years and show you these client success stories that we have that also, translate to time. But right now, really trying to focus on those conversations. Like, I've got a young guy I'm working with now, runs a large scale construction company. He's about my age. I'm trying to really focus on the human element of it, right?
Yeah.
Of you know, he's got all this work. He does all his own payables. He does all his own receivables. He does all of his own payroll. And at the same time, he does all the work in the field.
Ooh,
And at the same time,
busy.
you know, you can always buy equipment, but, you know, there's to lower your tax bill, right? But you can always start to look at these other pieces that can look further and longer, right? So I'm starting to change the conversation of where do you want to be as opposed to, especially with business owner clients, because so many of them are just stuck in the job.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
get that.
For sure.
That how do you take some of these extra resources and save them not as a rainy day fund, but what is your ideal life at the, you know, in 20 years? Where do you want to see your kids? Where do you want this, you know, the compounding interest to hit, whether it's in dollars or if it's in lifestyle, right? So what I'm trying to do with him is I'm trying to relieve as much pressure off of his 7-day-a-week work schedule. And I'm trying to give him a more normal life, whether he likes it or not. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pain points along the way if you're used to that control. And there's always work to be done, whether it's raining or not in that business line. So it's this active pursuit of helping people that we're in right now.
That's good.
And I'm starting to feel the effects as a friend, right? Like these little moments where you're starting to reduce the stress and friction from someone to where that they can be hopefully a better father, a better husband. Those little compounding pieces are going to do him a lot better.
For sure.
And then the financial aspect, I can take those off his plate pretty quick, pass them to teammates, put him on a good program and a plan. As long as we stick to it for a long enough time period, we can still hit those goals. So yeah, it's fun as we've transitioned because I'm starting to see maybe a bigger impact than just trying to save somebody, you know, dollars. Which is where not where we've always been, but like that's kind of just been the MO.
Right. Well, in the financial world, like I'm thinking about it from my standpoint. If I came to you, I'm thinking about all of the ways that you can save me on taxes or save me on this or do this. Like my thinking is limited. Right. And then I sit across the table from you and you go, where do you want to go? Like, here's this. And then you start to put that plan in place. Now, all of a sudden I'm going, now I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking in ways that I wasn't thinking about, you know, 20 minutes before I walked into your office. Right. And that's what I love. And that's why I say, man, like all of us are artists in our own way. And when you do that for somebody, like you change the way that they see their finances and now I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking in this way, like, dude, that's a game changer for people. And that's what being an artist is all about. And that's why I say that. And I know a lot of people kind of push back on me. I'm not an artist, man. I'm not creative like that. No, but like when you help people in that way, that is a life-changing creative experience for them. And that's so cool. How does that sit with you when I say that?
It feels like imposter syndrome most of the time. Recording a podcast in the first place in, you know, a basement feels like imposter syndrome. Like you have nothing to say. But I think it means that we're headed the right direction. And, you know, if you've ever invested into, you know, any sort of market and you're putting in your dollar cost average $50 a month, like Dad said the other day, the first 100,000 is the hardest to get. But after you get to 100,000, those numbers double a lot quicker, right? It's easier to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and you know to 1.6 million. Once you get into the game of doubles, but it's those daily deposits that have to be made to get there, and you have to have that strong foundation at the beginning. So I think now that we're finally, I feel like 100% in. You know what I mean? Like I like to show up to work every single day. I actually don't like not working. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough piece for me because I think
hard to shut it off.
There's more you can do, which I think is completely healthy. And as long as we keep refining the process along the way, then, you know, I hope that at the end of my life, you can see a lot of people do amazing things. You know, it's not about me. The market's going to be the market. The insurance is insurance. All those things are what they are. It's just how many lives can we change along the way?
So I'm gonna ask you some practicals here.
Cool.
And somebody listening, and maybe I'm asking this for myself too. I don't know, but let's talk about somebody that's out there. They've been putting in the work, whether it's in a job or in a business that they're building. They have finances are decent. Always could do better. Always could play more, but they're going, man, I need to think differently about this. I need to figure out. what would be some practical things that they could do like today? Like what would be, give us 3 baby steps, if you will, not to say baby steps and put us in the Dave Ramsey bucket, but you know what I'm saying? Like what are some things that I need to be thinking about that maybe I'm not thinking about right now?
I would say the number one thing is, and I will steal this from Dave Ramsey, is have a budget. And I say that because it's easy to say and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It is really easy, and it's easy to have a budget and not follow it. I have a budget. Sure. I have a home budget. I have a work budget, right? Like I know my numbers.
Yeah.
They don't always match. You're going to have incidentals. You're going to have things that pop up. But if you are, let's say, a W-2 employee, you have a pretty good idea what you're going to make each month.
Yep.
And if you can just back into the math of saying these are our fixed expenses, these are 3 variables, these are what I always like to do is like the goal sheet, right? So the goal sheet is I want to go, I want to do, I want to be, I want to learn, I want to achieve, I want to, whatever that is, right? At the top, when you say I want to own, right? So mine was a sauna, Casey's is a pool, and then you attach timeframes, right?
It's funny, you said Asana, which is a sauna, but I heard Asana, which is my task management software that I use. So I was very confused there for a second. Like, oh, you're just going to own it. Okay, all right.
Buy a company.
Anyway.
So, but by putting those things down, those bigger things that don't actually fit your traditional budget,
right?
You can say, now I'm going to put X amount into my sauna fund, or the pool's a 10-year plan, right? So we're going to say, well, that's pretty expensive. We want to pay for it in cash. I don't want to go into debt, right?
Yeah.
And then based off those things, I can have these goals, these like little life happiness moments that I'm reaching towards. So my dollars have jobs, right? So if I can give every dollar a job, and that can be that
That's
investment.
That's a cool way of saying
it. Most people, again, I tell people all the time we live in a fishbowl. And when I say we live in a fishbowl, if you give a goldfish a fishbowl, right, it grows to the size of that fishbowl. If you give it a bigger tank, it's going to grow to the bigger tank. So what we run into is the lifestyle inflation.
Yeah.
Is as you make more, you do more and you spend more.
Yeah.
It's a natural evolution, and it's even as somebody in the industry, it's incredibly hard not to do.
Oh, for sure.
Incredibly hard not to do, because as your family grows, as you do need a bigger house, you do need the minivan, you do need these things. Do you need a brand new this? Do you need a brand new that? And the answer is no. But the answer is I have a brand new minivan and we built a house. So like we did those things, and they cost us we don't go on a lot of vacations. We really enjoy our home. I do have to take my kids everywhere, so that's a necessity.
Yes. And there's so many of them.
There are so many kids and necessities.
So many kids.
So I would say like that budget can't just be a document on your notes that you send to your wife when you're mad. And it can't be this, you can't have one person on a budget and one person who's not.
Yeah.
You have to do it together. So usually when I do the master dream list, so it's the I want to own, I want to go, I want to do, I want to be, I want to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give every client, male and female, usually married couples, I give one-to-one, and then I'll keep one in the middle. And I say, all right, you guys both go fill these out. Because what we really don't realize is what our spouse wants. And it's not that we don't ask. It's that you're just living.
Yeah.
And when you're living, you're just doing. And when you're just doing, you're not thinking.
Yeah.
And then when you're finally asleep, or you finally get to that, and it's time to, it's an easy thing to put, is like I'm starting a podcast.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to put at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
So I like to have them go do it separately and then be like, oh, I didn't know you wanted to go to Italy. That's really cool. Mine was Massachusetts. So let's find common ground.
Yeah.
And then we'll put this as our 10-year. This is our 5-year. I like to work in buckets. So 1, 3, 7, right?
Yeah.
Like this is my 1-year goals. These are my 3-year goals. These are my 7-year goals.
Yeah.
So you make them achievable and you build plans around them. But then together you have the master document. The master document is what the source of truth we talked about the other day is when somebody has an urge, right? Because that's what we have as human beings. We have these sinful urges. And when we have an urge.
The pool goes in now.
Correct. Now we go back to the document and we say, is this going to cost us more by doing it sooner? Or is this not on the list because this is not what we agreed upon?
That's so good.
And we still do it every year. So like goals change, plans change,
Yeah.
life changes.
For sure.
But by doing it annually, it allows you to at least have these big highlight things you really want. and then you can back into the math of what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
So like some people's biggest goal is to retire at 50. I don't know what I would do if I was done working at 50.
I wouldn't either.
But that means you just got to shell money to the side for the next X amount of time
Yep.
in order to hit that, if that's your number one goal.
Yeah.
That means you're not doing the pool now because that's going to cost you $100,000 out of your retirement that you need if you're going to be done at 50.
That's so good.
So I would say having realistic goals and then having a plan to get there and living on that budget. And again, these aren't things that I'm even perfect at. These are things that I spew to clients all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to practice what you preach with it. But by doing that at a foundational level, it sets the stage for everything else.
Yeah.
So like, I like that part of the baby set.
Yeah.
And then I personally don't like consumer debt at all. I mean, again, it's the same idea that Dad talked about the other day is you're robbing your future self today. So by making those decisions, the things you want now versus the things you want most, goal sheet, right? You're putting yourself at your own mercy.
And I love that because what I hear you saying is it's not about being perfect. It's about having a plan.
And adjusting.
Yeah.
And that's, you got to pivot when the pivots make sense.
Yeah.
And I think that having a plan gives you the direction to at least make the small baby steps, the
100%.
daily deposits.
I think a lot of us live, I know that I've done this in a lot of things in my life where it's just, you kind of just like hope and pray secretly in the back of your mind that you're going to get to where you want to go. And that's not going to get you there. You have to have a goal. You have to write it down. You have to have those things on paper, on purpose, if you will. Hey, quick pause here. If you are thinking about starting a podcast or have already started one and it's not driving business results like you would like it to, we would love to help. At 1898 Creative, we install a proven podcast system, a strategy that helps you leverage your message to attract premium clients without adding more to your plate. So if you're ready to turn your podcast into an authority engine, book a call over at 1898creative.com and let's build something awesome together. All right, now let's get back to the conversation. I would love for you to dig a little bit deeper into that goal sheet because that's something I've heard you guys talk a lot about here in the last couple of months that I'm like, dude, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
And so obviously you gave us a breakdown of how you do it with a client, but walk me through those steps again. Like if somebody was going to set this up, they're listening right now and they're going to set it up for themselves. Walk us through that goal sheet because I think that's something that could change somebody's life today.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So in 1988, so it's available on our website for download. So this is actually...
Nice. What is that website? Where can they download
Performance
it?
Financial. You should be able to find it on one of the blogs I wrote back in like 2021.
Don't make me search for it, Sean. Come on.
Plans are in pencil, goals are in ink. That's the name of the blog post. And then there's a download link and it'll kick you straight to it. It is like a 30-page document. So the sheet I usually give out is the Master Dream List. That is a single piece of paper that's within this whole goal packet. The nice thing about the goal packet is when my dad first started, he was in the life insurance industry. So it's very, if you think about it, it's this big business plan packet, right? Like how do I build a business plan as a single guy who's going out and selling a commissionable product?
Yeah, for sure.
I do that for a living. So like for me, I like doing it, but we make our whole staff use it because it has other cool tidbits in it, that some things that pertain to you and some things that don't. So once a year, you pull out this 30-page packet. It talks to you about building a business plan. If you're not a business owner, pivot it. It's a life plan. Same idea. And what it's going to talk you through is going to have some, Theodore Roosevelt quotes as it should and different little tidbits.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you do is actually a self-assessment, an analysis of thyself.
Yeah.
And it is the hardest part. And anyone who's ever done a personality test online, you're trying to stay true to yourself without answering towards the question.
Yeah, for sure.
So the one I always like, it's a circle, almost like a target, and then it's got spiritual, it's got health, it's got what else does it have? Income, career, family. Like it's got all these different pieces to it, and then you have to build it based off of your scores that you fill out. So it asks you questions about.
And this is an assessment, like of where you're at currently.
Correct. So it says, how good am I at working out every day? How am I at doing my nutrition? How am am I dressing myself to be like the best version of myself? Or am I dressing like a slob?
Wow.
Am I spending enough time with my family? Am I like aware in that moment with my family? Am I going to church? Am I being more mindful and spiritual? Am I reading daily? So then it takes this big scope, right? You go through and the answers are like 1 to 10. And then you draw this circle, and the ideal, perfect, balanced person is a perfect circle. Me, I'm just built like a star where, I'm great at career. Right now, I'm huge into faith.
Yeah.
I'm lacking on my personal health. That's why I bought a sauna. I think that's going to fix it.
Yeah.
Figured just
Just sweat it out.
Yeah. Get my demons out. And then you go to all the other things. How are we doing on our personal finances? Because there's a difference between career, right?
Sure.
Because like I can be an A+ my career. My personal finances are at a 1 because I'm overspending, right?
Yeah.
So you look at your star and you make your decisions based off of, am I where I want to be, right? So that first thing you do is a personal assessment. Then they make you do I think it's a net worth statement. Yeah, I think it's net worth statement or an income statement. So an income statement is pretty much a budget, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to say, how much do I make? How much do I spend for the perfect budget? And then what's my excess? Where can I put it?
Yeah.
And then the last one is then the net worth statement. So if you've never done a net worth statement, have you done a net worth statement?
I have not done a net worth statement.
Do one today. I'll send you a link on all this stuff.
Okay.
So a net worth statement is your assets minus your liabilities, right? So it's pretty much you're going to put on the left-hand side, you're going to say how much cash you have, how much is invested, what your house is worth, and use market information. Don't use what you would sell it for. I always go down just to be like,
just
if
be
I had to
safe.
get rid of the house, I'm going to do this. What your cars are worth, not what you owe on them, right? Not what you would
2014, baby. That's going really
go on Kelly Blue Book. If it's worth $2,500, it's worth $2,500.
Yep.
And you're going to go down all your assets. If you've got businesses, what could you sell it for tomorrow? If you've got business assets, what could you sell it for tomorrow? So you're going to have all your asset list, right? On one side. And the other side, you're going to put all the money you owe to other people. So you put credit cards, you're going to have tax liabilities, you're going to have what do you owe on your house, what do you owe on your cars, do you have student loans, anything I owe to somebody else.
Detailed, yeah.
So then you're going to have your assets minus your liabilities equals my net worth. So if my assets are $1 million, but I owe 900,000, my net worth's only 100 grand.
Yeah.
But on paper, I could be like, well, I got $1 million in assets. The only problem is I owe everybody else on them.
Which is like that's a very eye-opening experience, right? If that's the reality, you go, oh crap, I thought I was doing good, but
my young people, they're surprised when it's negative. And usually
that
that's
should
normal.
go that way.
Yeah, it's normal because student loan debt. You go get a house. The only asset you have is a car, but you owe more on the car than you thought.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a scoreboard, right? So again, this is an annual thing. So you're going through the math of the goal is to do better financially than you did the year before. And you don't realize that you picked up another car note throughout the year or you over-levered a house, those types of things until you get to the next year and you start doing your math and you go, well, we were at 250 last year. We're at 249 this year. I would say that that's the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Could be a market, right? The market could just be down that year, bear market of 22. It could be, whatever it is. But I think by having a scoreboard that you can conceptualize.
That's so good.
The goal is not to be a millionaire. I tell people that all the time. I thought I'd be a millionaire by 30, not anywhere close. I had 4 kids instead, so I'm a millionaire in a different sense. I'm blessed.
So good. Dude, I was coming home from a trip and I was coming down the escalator and my kids were there to greet me at the bottom and they had a sign and they were jumping up and down and they were so thrilled. And all the people around me were like, oh, who's this? And they were like, oh, I'm going to cry. Everybody's like that. And a guy that was on a trip with me, his son said, dude, if that's not the richest guy I know, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it hit me. Like I was like, this high school kid just like ripped my heart out, you know? I was like, dude, this is so true. Because I'm over there going, I got to get $1 million in the bank, man. I got to get $1 million in the bank. Maybe I already do. I don't know. So
it's just a different bank. It's like time, right? You don't have on your forehead how much time you got left in the world.
Yeah.
There's not a ticker tape for that.
Yeah, there's not.
So you're stuck. I think we had a guest pastor. It might have been the men's night pastor. No, it was a guest pastor. Came in and he said, live like you'll die tomorrow and die like you'll live forever.
Yeah.
Right? So, but society's not built that way. So it's so easy to get stuck in the minutia of the game, right? Then it turns into, the next dollar is going to make me happier than the last dollar.
For sure.
Where realistically, we're just trying to use the resource that we have in front of us. Money is a resource. Time is a resource, right?
Yeah.
How do we use those in the best ability to compound to where we can look at the end of our lives, we may not be millionaires even then, and say that was a great life.
Yeah.
I did what I was set on this earth to do.
Yeah.
So these are obviously all financial tools that then can help you. That self-assessment's huge, right? Because if you've got $1 million on your net worth statement and you put that as a 10, but your family life's a 1 and your spiritual life's a 0 and your fitness is in the trash.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm not sure I'd trade lives.
Yeah. That's so true.
Your wins aren't worth what it's costing you.
Yeah. Because it is like everybody, I would say, from a financial conversation, everybody's like, I need more, I need more, I need more. But when you do this assessment the way that you have it laid out, that's going to open your eyes to, oh, I'm a 1 there.
Yeah.
I got to work on that, which might mean that I take my eye off the financial, dollar piece over here for a minute so that I can bring this up.
Well, it's harder to control.
Yeah.
You think about it, like money, once you get to a certain like level of finance, money's the easiest thing in the world to control. You can place it where you want it to go. It can grow you put it in treasuries, make 5%, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you'll grow 5% annually in the gym if you went every single day.
Yeah.
But you didn't just do a quick transfer and let it ride. Yeah. You got to show up. And
you got to do your thing. Yeah.
And like, I think that as I've gotten older, that daily deposit piece is still incredibly difficult. I try to be better. Like I'm in the pursuit of betterment. My health is still not like probably my weakest piece.
You got a sauna though, so you're good.
Well, it's not set up. I got to get an electrician out.
Man, you got to do that whole thing.
I got a nice, from a financial standpoint, I looked in for a while and I knew what I wanted and I pulled the trigger thinking that it would just make me healthier, and you still got to do the other steps along the way. Like it's not a set it, forget it. Now I'm going to be healthy. Set it, forget it. Like, as you know, like faith wise, like it is a daily deposit. If you do deposit in daily and you show up on Sundays, it's just not, it doesn't fill your cup the way it needs to. If you're not serving other people, if you're not, leading with that kind of mentality, that's where the big shift change happens. So
do you feel that there's one on the list that you guys have that if you focus on, it helps the other numbers grow as well?
Spirituality, 100%.
Faith, is that?
Yeah. Also health, if I'm being honest, because like an object in motion tends to stay in motion. So if you can just do those two things, which I would say take the most mental energy and physical, right? To get out of bed and go do the hard thing. Yeah. If you can do those two things, I think it trickles into the rest of your life so much easier. Because if you just do the money and you just do the career and you lack the other things, you're doing it for pointless reasons. Yeah. But if you focus on the two bigger pieces of the mind and body, those lead to maybe not perfect scores and everything else, but increased performance. Increased performance,
yeah. I think the faith side of things, there's the verse about, being transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? Like I think that's in the faith pursuit, you realize that God begins to move in ways in your mind that isn't like, you don't see it all the time. It's kind of that slow change. It's like he changes you by changing the way that you think, the way that you see the world, the way you show up for your family, your friends, your community, right? And so over time of those daily deposits, that changes. And I think, like you're saying, if you invest in that and your physical health, like all of a sudden the other numbers just grow naturally because of that.
100%.
And that's such a beautiful thing. I love that, man, because again, it goes back to the fact that yes, you are a financial organization and you are trying to help people on that side of things, but ultimately you are helping them pursue the greater piece of that. It's not just the dollar. It's so much more. And so I love that assessment that you have. So I know that was kind of, you said it was a 30-page document, so you basically have scratched the surface of that reality, right? Yeah. So again, they head over to, where's it at?
Performance.financial. If you go to the blog post and you pull up plans are in pencil, goals are in ink, you can back into, I think I've got a big download link there. It kicks it out. You can save it directly from there. It doesn't matter if you've never done one, start one tomorrow. If you do one, kind of like old school, put it on your mirror in your bathroom. We hang ours up. I've got a buddy that has his laminated. I've got another buddy that him and his wife framed it in a picture frame. They keep it in their kitchen.
Dude, that's so cool.
Well, it's easy. You put it back in a drawer, it's gone. Yeah. I keep mine. They hang behind me at the office, like my personal ones. And just seeing your goals and that self-reminder of them is such a huge piece. But going through the whole exercise, and again, I've done it for 7 years, and I've changed, like I used to have all these big dreams of, self, I would say, maybe even idolatry, to where now, like I want to achieve, and I just put peace. You know what I mean? Like I want to find contentment, and it's a very hard thing to find. Yeah. Especially when you work in a world full of money.
Yeah. Talk to me more about that. Peace. What does that mean?
So in 2020, I found an old notebook, but I used to daily journal. And I thought this was cute because I found this the other day. And I would daily journal. And at the time, my house payment was a quarter, if not like an eighth of what it is now.
Yeah, I bet.
My income was much less. But I remember I wrote down, I'm too busy. I don't make enough money. I can barely pay my bills. You know what I mean? Like I wrote these like stressful things out back then. These same worries that I still have today, like this like survivor mentality. But like if I could go back and tell that kid, this is where you got to, and it's only been 5 years.
Interesting.
And at the same time, this was a gratitude journal that I was working on. So like I would write down like at the beginning what I'm grateful for, and then I would do a reflection. And like my reflections weren't always grateful. Yeah. But I haven't journaled in forever, and I do think it's a great
4 kids, man. That's what happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I'm still chasing the same thing I wanted when I was young. Even though I reached the financial goal I was aiming for, I'm still searching for that gratitude piece, contentment piece of like, how can I just be happy with what I have? Yeah. And as a capitalistic society and as human beings who are built to ever evolve and ever grow, that to fight that natural urge is a very tough piece, especially when you're a driven entrepreneur. Yeah. So I've turned my leading indicators into, the lagging indicators. So where I'm at now is how do I impact as many people as possible? Part of this is through my own faith journey. How many people can I impact? I will always get what I need if I can help enough people, right? Can't get more than you give. So if I can just make those daily deposits into human beings, relationships, and steward these pieces that I've been blessed with, I think I'll be fine. Yeah. And then that's where I think I'll find peace. And it's in the pursuit of peace that's the hard part. Yeah. So I don't think peace is achieved with 4 kids. Peace in that sense. Like there's no peace in quiet. You might get a piece that's spelled differently. Piece of quiet when you're on your lawnmower for 2 hours.
Right.
So I think where I've set my goals now is they're much more broad in the sense of like they're not specific. I want these things because I am trying to using peace as my number one. Like I'm trying to avoid it. So trying to get out of, I don't want any more auto debt, right? Because I just want the peace of mind that like it's not something I have to worry about. Yeah. I'm not one of those that says, hey, pay your house off in the next, X amount of time like Dave Ramsey is. Part of me is like, I get the model. Like his is called Financial Peace University, right? That's his whole mantra.
Right.
So I'm okay sacrificing long-term investment status to reduce overall risk today if it makes like those heavy weights. Because when I did my financial assessment this year, I was over $1 million, but I still owed a lot of money.
You're like, crap.
Yeah. And you don't realize it until you do it. So like my net worth is up year over year. Congratulations to me, but my debt is up. And there is baggage that comes with that. And then your baggage you take to other conversations. And, my whole job is to tell people to don't do this. So as I search for this piece, and I don't think it's an overnight success story. I think it's something that you have to chase every day.
Do you feel that peace is something that you will wake up one day and go, oh, I did it? Or is that it's a pursuit of?
Pursuit of. And I think it's the same thing with faith. I don't think you just wake up one day, like I talked about at the beginning, the 10 out of 10 Christian. I don't think you just wake up and be that. I think you, or think you ever are, right?
Yeah.
I think other people may think you're a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Right.
But you're still going, you don't know what's in my mind. You don't know what's in my heart. You know, yeah.
It's the sermon from last week, the not enough.
Yep.
Right. Like what is holding you back? I wrote down, and you know, you're not supposed to share them, but I wrote down.
Oh, you're telling all 7 people that have watched this. So,
but I wrote down balance, right? So I drew a little judicial scale, and I put life and I put work, and like, it's trying to find that balance in what I've learned is the word integration. Get there if you can. Integration of, I just have to combine the two because in my head, one takes from the other. Now that seems like I'm blaming both things. So instead, I've just integrated it all. And if you call me and it's work call, my kids are in the back seat. It is what it is. COVID's helped a lot where people are a lot more lax about it.
Yes, for sure.
And so that's where I'm at now is I just integrate the two. I do the best I can along the way. And I don't think I'll wake up with peace. But I do know that if I chase peace, the rest will follow suit. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. And then I love that's something that you wrote down too, because I think it becomes, you know, it's so much bigger. Like you said, early on, it was probably the cars and the house and the things and the stuff, right? And now it's like, no, there's something richer here that I can pursue, and peace is one of those. And that might mean that some of those things come off the list, but ultimately the scale or the richness of life comes up, even though it might not be, oh, I get to live in that house or drive that car or do that thing, right? And that's so cool, man. That's so cool. Well, hey, I want to pivot here to something that you said in passing to me the other day. So if I've gotten this wrong, please correct me.
No, you're good.
A couple of years back, you had on your goal sheet to have a podcast, and that goal was on there for a couple of years. It sounded like you started one, you were doing it, probably got life and busy and things and happening all, and so that falls off. And now back on the goal sheet is this. And 1 year goes by, and then it goes back on the goal sheet. And then, you know, recently you've stepped into doing that and kind of going towards the, hey, I need to, you spoke of impact earlier. I want to impact people. And I think that's part of what you are starting to do with getting back into the podcast, sharing these ideas, sharing this today. Talk to me a little bit about what that 2-year gap was of, hey, I was doing a podcast, now I'm not, and I want to. What were you thinking and feeling in that time of kind of just staying silent and not using your voice to impact the people that you want to impact?
Yeah, I think so. I put it on my list. So from 2020 to 2023, I ran a pretty consistent local, hyper niche small business podcast. Part of that was 22-year-old kid trying to get out into the community. How do you meet people? It's a lot easier for people to talk to you if you invite them on an imaginary show that nobody watches. So I learned a lot about, I never was trying to be salesy when I did that. What I learned, what I was really good at was 1, communication, then 2, connection. So when I say connection in the business world, I turned into a huge, hey, I got a guy for that. That's what the podcast turned into for me, is like, I would share this, I put it out. I was all about the other person. That was like my first version of like service, right? Give before you get type of mentality. And I did that for a long time. And honestly, I think I got jaded for not getting. And life-wise, went from 2 to 3 kids, lived in a camper, building a house. Like everything else was like getting constrained around like the want side. And I was getting busier at work. I was hiring new people. I was going through to make it like that priority on the prioritization list just kept falling because I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. So now I knew I wanted to get back into it because I knew it was when I wrote in my gratitude journal that I found the other day. One of the things I wrote down was like my ideal day, my perfect day. And it was pretty much the exact same day I would work every Friday, was have a podcast in the morning or grab a coffee with somebody, have a podcast in the morning, meet someone, have a quick lunch. None of it had work in it. Also, it's my perfect day.
Funny how that happens.
It was. The only difference between the day that I usually worked on a Friday, and the day I wrote down in my journal was maybe a mountain view. But realistically, like I was already like gratitude-wise living the life I wanted to live in that moment when I was serving others. And I found that to be like the real inspiration as we were going through this brand change, as I went through my faith journey in 25, as I got baptized last year, is now this evangelical side of me of, well, how can I impact people? I'm back to the hands and feet. Right. So, and then at the same time, I ran into imposter syndrome the entire time.
Easy to have happen.
Of who am I to, Alex Hormozy, all these big guys. Sure. Huge. So I run back into this piece that I struggle with of imposter syndrome of, well, if I start posting this, what are people going to think? If I start doing this now, because now it's been so delayed, I can't just start it back up because then I'm a quitter again. What if I only do an app? You know what I mean? Like, so then I ran into that. I booked a space twice, cost me some money because I thought that the money was the driver of my own intention. And I didn't. I rented that space for a year and never used it other than I had like 2 lunches there. All my equipment set up in there.
Good lunches?
They were fine lunches. And I think until now, right, I carried that because that's part of the goal list, right, is you carry forward what you don't achieve. And those were always conscious decisions of mine to say, I still want to do this, like back in my head, right? Like that curiosity of like, I think I can still do this. To where now, I went through all these ideas in my head of like how I was going to change the world. Told you about the, my Average Christian podcast and all those things of like, how can I impact people? Now with the brand change, now with where my head's at, now with what I really want to do for other people, the podcast makes the most amount of sense to get back into. And then I knew I needed to reduce friction. So I self-edited, did everything, had booked all my own people, did all this stuff, right? And as dad of now 4, busy, we've got 10 employees, like as you look at this, like I needed to reduce as much friction as possible. So then I got hooked up with you guys. And I looked at that and I go, this is the easiest way for me to just spend money. And then I have to go do it because all the other friction points are taken away. No editing, no recording, no setup, no teardown, no nothing. And honestly, the process along the way helped me redefine what the podcast was about. You know what I mean? Like, because we did the 90-day. What's it called?
Impact 90.
It's a great program. Free ad. It's a great program. But what it did was it helped me realign, like, the whole time you could go through my ChatGPT history of me just being like, what am I going to do? How do I want to do it? How do I want to lay this out?
You're trying to figure it out on your own and just bust it through.
But I think the confidence of the proof of concept from hearing from you and then hearing from TR and hearing from people be like, I think this is going to work. And I'm not in it for eyeballs. I'm in it for just those small, we watched The Chosen last night and it was, I end episode, whatever, from the first season. And, in The Chosen, it's Jesus giving this sermon and he goes, what do you do if you lose a sheep? You go get the sheep, right? What do you do with the other 99? Well, they're not lost. You keep them and you go, grab that extra one. So for me now, it's about not the 100 or the 99. It's about the one. Like what small impact can I make that can lead towards, some sort of truth, some sort of growth. And if there's positive effects for us outside of that, that's fine. But like, that's not the point anymore, I think. So
what I hear you saying is it's kind of like on your goal sheet where you removed the stuff off of it and started to put like the peace and those things. It sounds like that's happening here where you're going, the impact that I can make in small increments is even more important than, not that you don't pay attention to what happens from the business side, but it becomes something that you go, no, the impact is actually the bottom line, if you will, right? Like that's what we're going to pay attention to more than necessarily the clients coming in. We want that. That's the thing that we need to have happen. But ultimately, I can meet people where they're at. I can walk them through these kind of goal sheets and different things and actually make impact on somebody that might not ever spend $1 with me, but I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
100%.
And that's what's beautiful about it. And Sean, let me just take a second to say here, man, like in the last few months of getting to know you and hearing these stories and hearing the things that you shared with us today, like you are making impact. And even on my own life, like I'm looking at this thing going, I got to do that tonight. Like you were saying, like kids going down, we're pulling this out to walk this through because this will make my life better. And I know that anybody that listens today that actually takes action on this, that their life will be better too. And you will make the impact on us because of that. And so you are doing those things and you are making an impact. And it's been so cool over the last couple of months to see you show up and to start sharing your voice again on a podcast. At the time of this recording, we recorded with your dad this week on episode, what was it, 2 and 3 and 4,
yeah.
3 and 4, right? So early on in this iteration, and it's just so cool to see the legacy that you have with your dad. And then also the mantle that you're taking on now, saying, I'm going to step into this and I'm going to do this thing. And I think you are going to make that impact because you're investing in it. You're putting it down on paper and walking it through. And it's going to be really, really cool to see in 3 to 5 to 10 to 12 months from now who's being impacted by that. Yeah. So I encourage you, man, dude, you're an artist and you're doing the artist work, right? As weird as that is to say and probably feel for you in the financial world, but man, you are doing awesome stuff. And so keep it up, dude. Keep sharing your voice, keep sharing it with us. One challenge I want to give to our listeners is I think everybody, including myself, needs to go to
performance.financial blog page. I'm probably going to call TR and make him do this as a banner page when we're done. That way you can just go click download my goal sheet at the top. But if you go to performance.financial, go to the blog page, you go to plans are in pencil, goals are in ink. There's a download link right in there, but I may see if I can't get we'll
put that in the show notes and all that kind of stuff too, so it's an easy access. But I think if our listeners just simply do that, if there was one call to action to do today, if they went and did that, that is going to be, I think that'll be a game changer. And I would love for them, where can they find you on the good old social medias and all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, if you find us, so the team's available at Performance Financial, either on Facebook or Instagram, and then performance.financial is our website. If you want to find me specifically, I don't even know what my handle is. Probably Sean Kirby, _Sean Kirby. I'm pretty sure that's me on and all you're going to see is pictures of my kids.
That's cool too. But what I want them to do is, if they do this, I want them to find you out there, and I want them to send you.
Chase me down on LinkedIn. Sean Kirby on LinkedIn is probably the best way. It's the most professional version of me you're going to find. However, there are still a lot of tidbits about the kids and family, because that's, again, the direction that we're really hyper-focused on right now.
That's investing your time wisely. And for you, that means in your family and your kids. And that's important, man. And you're going to show people what that actually means. And that's what's beautiful about it. But they should hunt you down on LinkedIn and say, hey, dude, I did this. It changed my life. This is, share the goals with him. That would be freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys do that. I think that's going to be cool. But dude, I've taken a ton of your time. I appreciate you coming on, being a part of this, sharing your heart and your vision for this. Again, I'll say it again. You are an artist, and I love the fact that you bring this art to the world in the financial sphere. That's cool. And as we wrap up today, I want you to walk away with 3 things, okay? That I want you to remember that your voice matters in this world, and that number 2, you are an artist. Much like Sean, you are an artist. And the last thing is, I want you to remember that you are loved more than you could ever imagine. So go out and create your art, and we'll see you here next time on the Create Your Art podcast.